Hi, this is the Teaserking coming to you live from my house for week 4 of the NCAA 2013 season. Been pretty hot with this. A couple of teams surprised me, caught me a little off guard, like Texas against BYU. But generally, I've got it pretty figured out. I want to comment on the Michigan game last week. I honestly believe the game was fixed. I have a hard time believing you can put up 41 points on a pretty good Notre Dame defense, and against Akron, you scored 28 to 24, allowing them at the 1-yard line at the end of the game, and the quarterback throwing like 3 interceptions and a pick 6. Excuse me, but I don't buy any of that. I don't buy they were flat. The play calling was horrible. Devin Gardner looked like the other Michigan quarterback who couldn't quarterback, Denard Robinson. That game smelled to high heaven that it was not on the level. I've seen it too often. There's no way this should have happened. They should have put up 50 points against a very weak Akron team. I looked at my magazine, the Akron's now in the MAC, and I looked. They don't have one player on the first or second team, all offense or defensive team in their own league. Now, where do they get the talent to put up 24 points on Michigan with a terrible quarterback, no running, no passing, and no defense, and Michigan only gets 28 points? So I'm sorry. You can't convince me that that game wasn't fixed, that Gardner got paid off, and threw the 3 interceptions against that. Why aren't they running the ball more? Why would you throw an interception on a screen pass? Can you see the lineman right there? Come on. I'm sorry, but there's no way that should have happened. Anyway, let's take a look around the college football this week. It's a difficult schedule this week. I don't see a lot of strong dogs, and I see some favorites that I'm not crazy about. Let's walk through it. Michigan laying 18 to Connecticut. I have a hard time with that game. I don't know. I honestly don't know if Gardner's going to get paid off again or what. Connecticut as a home dog is pretty good. Although they're terrible this year, they lost to a Division II team, or 1A, whatever they're calling it now. Michigan should kill them, but they should have killed Akron, so I'm very lenient here. It would tend to believe that Michigan would win by about 3 touchdowns based on how bad they played last week, that they'd be fired up this week and the team that played Notre Dame would show up. However, I've had experience with Connecticut in the Big East, where they've beaten very good Big East teams like West Virginia or Pittsburgh, Louisville at home. And not this year, but 2, 3, 4 years ago, when Connecticut went to the Fiesta Bowl. They're very good home dogs. So again, there's a different coach. I'm not expecting it. I would think Michigan by at least 3 touchdowns, but I'm going to watch this game. I don't like it. Wisconsin laying 24 to Purdue. It's too high of a spread. I don't get the spread. Wisconsin basically beat a Division 1A team like Stony Brook, and they beat Massachusetts, who's I can get guys at work that can beat Massachusetts. So I don't really buy that. I think that spread's way too high. Purdue showed tenacity holding in with Notre Dame. I don't know how good Notre Dame is, but for Purdue to hang with them, maybe they'll be flat, but this is the Big Ten opener. I just think that's too many points. I love the new Wisconsin coach. He was the Utah State coach, and he was a real good one. So I think they upgraded their coach. Getting rid of Belima was great. I thought he was average at best. This is just a tough week. I like Maryland, West Virginia. I have no idea. Maryland is not a real good favorite. West Virginia lost close to Oklahoma, but Geno Smith's gone. They got a new quarterback. I hate betting teams with new quarterbacks until they're proven. I can't see it. BYU laying 7 to Utah. This game I like. I like Utah here getting 13. Utah beat Utah State, which is a very good team. BYU, they lose to Virginia and they beat Texas. But Texas is so bad they couldn't handle the option play. I guarantee you Utah will handle it. I like Utah here. When they're in the Mountain West, BYU, and they're going undefeated or one loss, and they're a real good team, they still couldn't beat Utah, or it'd be a very close game. Utah's won the last two. They know how to play them. And I'm not impressed with BYU. I give them the Texas win. It's just Texas played with their heads up their butts. I like the 13 in Utah here. Now, I'm calling this, not only is the wrong team favored, and this isn't even an upset, I'm taking Utah State in the 13.5 against SC, and Utah State's going to win the game. You hear it right now. Utah State's a better team than USC. They got a better defense, a better quarterback, a better running attack, a better coach. And I get that their coach is now in Wisconsin. This is their offensive coordinator. Utah State's the real deal. They're like Boise was. They're like TCU that year. They got a very, very strong defense, and they run a very good option, and they got a very good quarterback who can run and throw. USC lost to Washington State 10-7. I get it. They beat a terrible Boston College team at home after the loss. This game, Utah State should be a 3-point favorite in this game. I know, you think I'm nuts. Utah State's a much better team than USC at this point. And they cover. Utah State's 16-0 their last 16 games against the number. They lost to Utah, I get it, but that was a good game. They killed the Air Force, but Utah State is a very strong team, and I know it's a little bit out of their class with USC, but USC's not very good this year. I like the 13.5 Utah State, and Utah State will win the game. 23-17, maybe 30-17. This isn't an upset. Utah State should be favored in this game. Notre Dame laying 5 to MSU, Michigan State. This is another, I don't know who's who. Michigan State couldn't score a point on Western Michigan, and I mean, they're playing MAC schools, and they're getting shut out unless their defense scores points. Notre Dame's won the last two. It's at Notre Dame. Notre Dame's laying 5, so you basically get Notre Dame even or State in 11. Again, I honestly don't have a clue. I mean, State's got a good defense playing terrible teams. They have no offense. The quarterback's terrible. I don't count Youngstown State. They're a high school team. So I think State will have trouble moving the ball. I think Notre Dame's got 2 All-Americans on defensive line. Their quarterback's okay. I just think Notre Dame is better offensively. I think the defenses are fairly even. Maybe State's got a little bit better. And I'm only saying that because State hasn't played anybody. Now, if State shuts out Notre Dame, they got a much better defense. But at this point, I don't know. I know State normally has a good defense, but their offense is terrible. Their quarterback's terrible. I can't bet on a bad quarterback. Reese throws so many interceptions for Notre Dame, it's a very hard call. I'm going to watch this game. I think Notre Dame wins the game, so you can tease it +1 if you're looking for it. But again, I don't know. I don't know Michigan State at this point. I wouldn't be comfortable taking them in 11 without a quarterback and no offense. When your defense is outscoring your offense, it's hard to bet on that team. Texas laying 5.5 to Kansas State. It's another. Colin Klein graduated from Kansas State. They're okay this year. They beat Mass 37-7. Mass is terrible. Texas is horrible. I don't get that at all. So I can't play Texas laying points against anybody, especially Kansas State. Kansas State, I can't play them. They don't have Colin Klein. I don't know how they are. They're probably decent. It's not like last week I had Ole Miss against Texas. That was good. Ole Miss is a good team. Kansas State, I have no idea. When teams lose their quarterback and they lose a lot of talent, it's very hard for me to jump on them. That's not the team I'm looking to play. I'm looking to play the Clemsons, the Utah States, teams with experienced quarterbacks that are coming back. So again, it's a game I would, how can you play Texas to beat anybody? They're terrible at this point. Alabama laying 40 to Colorado State. I don't see how you can play that game. As bad as Colorado State is, that's 40 points. And you see Alabama's weakness is against any type of mobile quarterback. I'm not saying Colorado State has it, but you know, it'll probably get ugly, but it's a lot of wood for an Alabama team. They like to play defense and run the ball. You know, I'm sure they'll score in the 30s, but I don't know, 40 points is a lot. I don't like Alabama there. All right, let's get to a game I actually do like. Stanford's laying 6.5 to Arizona State. I like Stanford a lot in this game at home. They're very good at home. Arizona State's good in the desert, and this game is not in the desert. Stanford's got a better defense and a good offense. I watched the Arizona State-Wisconsin game. Wisconsin screwed themselves at the end. The kid puts the ball down. He doesn't take a knee. It's a fumble in my mind. There's no giving up. If you put the ball down, you fumbled. Arizona State recovered. The game should have been over. So I don't know. Arizona State looked okay. I mean, you know, I'm not sold on Wisconsin. And that was at home. I like Stanford even here. Stanford even against anybody. Good quarterback, good defense, very good team. So that's what I like there. Oregon State laying 9.5 to San Diego State. I like Oregon State here. San Diego State's really bad this year. A lot of losses to recruiting. Oregon State should be good this year, but they're having difficulty. Maybe they'll get it back. They got a good win against Utah last week, so maybe they're starting to come back. LSU laying 17 to Auburn. Auburn's terrible this year. I get they're 3-0, but they're a very bad team. LSU is at home on a Saturday night. It's very good. I like LSU. Cut them down to 11. That's a good spread. LSU has the trends in that game. UCLA laying 42 to New Mexico State. I love this game. I love UCLA laying 36. New Mexico State's terrible. They're the worst team in college football. They have no offense. They have no defense. UCLA put up 41 on Nebraska at Nebraska, most of it in the second half. I love UCLA here. Laying to cut them to 30. You can cut them to 50. This game will be a 60. This will be 60 to nothing. UCLA. That game I like. So the games I really like are LSU, UCLA, Utah State, and really that's about all I could find. I mean, it's just pathetic. Vandy over UMass. UMass is terrible. Iowa laying 17 to Western Michigan. Iowa's terrible. They can't lay 17 to anybody. Maybe Louisville with Teddy Bridgewater over Florida International. Florida International's terrible. Again, you're laying 42 points. Hard to make a living laying 36 in teasers. Louisville could get there with their quarterback. The rest of it's just, I mean, it's just clueless. Nevada's not that good this year, laying 9 to Hawaii. I mean, you know, good luck this week. This is just not a good week. There's, like I said, Stanford, LSU, UCLA, Utah State, Utah. Those are the 5. I don't love any of them except for Utah State and UCLA. Those are probably the 2 to jump on. Utah's the best dog on the board, and the rest of it, I just can't. I don't want to bet on any of this stuff. It's just, it's a joke. Washington State laying 30.5 to Idaho. Washington State's laying 30.5 now. I know Iowa's bad, but come on. All right, well, that's week 3. If you have any questions, comments, let me know. It's just some of the weeks you just gotta. It's like playing Hold'em. You get 2-4 offsuit. You just folding is the right play. Not playing the hand is the right play, and waiting for a nice pair of 10s or an ace king, ace queen, king queen suited, something like that. That's what you wait for. That's what I'm looking for in football. Is the premium hands or the premium bets, and I don't want to play. A lot of these games are just offsuit, bad games that just you might as well flip a coin, and I don't flip coins. I don't play 50% games. I play 90% games. So, believe me, the 2 trends, the trend on Utah State over SC and the trend on UCLA and LSU and Stanford are huge. Those are the teams I want to play. They're the teams covering. All right, well, have a great weekend. The pros are much better this week, which you'll see on my pro video. Again, it's www.teaserking.com. Questions, comments, please send them to me, and good luck. We'll wait for a better week in college. Like I said, there's 4 or 5, that's all we need. But watch some games, keep score, and you'll see what's going on. Last week we did great. I think I had one loser in college, which was Michigan. And everything else was, I had a lot of good dogs, and that's what I like to bet, but I don't see too many this week. Alright, have a great evening, and great weekend. Good luck, and I hope I can make you some money or prevent you from losing some money this week. Take care.